Uh, the recording is in progress, so let's get started.
Yeah. So thank you very much for joining us. This is a great session for today because we have selected very interesting topics. The topic is what are the major threats for the next generation of Bangladesh. So we will discuss and we will try to find out the reasons and we will discuss each other. So we wanna hear first time from Jubair. So it's time to deliver your speech.
Oh, sure.
It's
Thank
your
you.
platform. It's your floor.
Okay. So, am I perfectly audible or not? Because I had a really bad experience with the last session that I couldn't hear myself. Uh, so, how about
Yeah, right. No, it's okay. If
okay?
you can speak louder, it will be
Yeah, sure.
more better experience for
Yeah.
us.
So here I am, inspired from your very last speech, and I got myself louder than before. So thank you again for again as the as the last session you also gave me the very first floor to play, and it was just like, and I played. And today again you are giving me the chance to say something about a very interesting topic today. That is, what are the major threats for the next generation of Bangladesh and what is the solution? So it's definitely new and it's definitely exciting, and uh I'm totally on it. I mean, in it, you can say. So um and certainly that the major threats for the next generation of Bangladesh uh, could include several things that several things from them. I will just add uh, very hot topics, very hot topics that is going to be like uh, I like myself to do this is the environmental challenges, and and this is going to be the very first and foremost thing that our next generation will face. But we are already getting this sense of environmental challenges like climate crisis, and and from various sources, like from various research kit, we found out that Bangladesh is one of the country uh, which is going to be underwater if the climate change going to happen as presumed by the scientists. So, and also the bad weather, like the hot weather, is going to be, uh, intolerable or intolerable. Sorry. So this is the one thing that we will face, and I will definitely come up with the solution for this topic. So secondly, I will. I'm seeing that uh, major threats. One of major threats that is our next generations, uh, quality. I mean, access to quality education, and as well as healthcare. And you know, if you feel that you are next generation from your older, then you can literally feel the same, like you are not getting the very quality education as well as healthcare, right? So we can definitely hopeful that it's going to be a more haphazard or desired condition for the next generation from ourselves. So this
Yeah,
so this is my very second topic that I mentioned, and I feel like this is major threats as well. And definitely, but I have to say that our population is kind of a thing that is uh, that is a threat for any country. But there is also other sense that is, if the people, even you are populated, like even the China is populated, but their population is not a threat for themselves. So have some talkings we can discuss. So
yeah,
and the very last and not the least, that I will disclose to you, and I will definitely come with the solutions for each of this topic. That is unemployment, right? The AI and the very revolution of industrial revolution. We are expecting very fourth revolution industry revolution, and that is going to be dramatically changed to uh, the level thing, and and this is going to be a very I know very serious to our generation, to our next generation, is they are not getting, they will not get that much of quality education as well as healthcare. So how come, you hope that they will uh, be employed with, and they will be used for projection. So everything is interconnected, right? So uh, first of all, again, thank you for giving me that uh, advanced chance, because you would definitely talk about my topics, and now I'm happy for that because I'm talking them very first, and else I have to find another resources because I couldn't repeat yours. So again, the I will just simply describe or elaborate and also say the solution of each of the topics. That is, first I mentioned that is climate change and environmental challenges that our next generation will face. Okay, so it's definitely from my side, I feel that it's one of the pressing challenges for the next generation. That is climate change. Bangladesh, for from a very various research, okay, then Bangladesh is highly vulnerable to this, like rising sea levels that we are seeing right away. The very last very last week ago, we listened that Chattogram, I mean Chittagong city has drowned into water for already 7 times, and you can believe that this didn't happen back in you know uh, several years ago. So it's just a message to our next generation that this is going to happen, and as well as floods. I myself witnessing the very recent floods in our city, in our local city, where I didn't saw any single floods without the only 2004 floods. But most recently, for the last couple of years, I've been seeing floods every other year. I mean, frequent floods happening here and there. It's all because of climate change, and this climate change is going to happen, is going to continue
Yeah,
till there is no it, adequate action taken. So, and south cyclones, you usually see the very recent cyclones has happened, and our geographically, Bangladesh is situated in kind of in the midst of all the hazards areas, hazards position. So uh, for this, uh, I don't know the solution, but I found out, I researched that there must have solutions, and I found some solution that is that Bangladesh cannot tackle this kind of solution. It's global because uh, the the oxygen you are seeing on the above, it is not from it may not from very Bangladesh part. It may from another geographical area. So the climate is thing that is, if you create
exactly.
carbon dioxide, it affects to even other countries.
Yeah, in the same time, we are not conscious.
Yeah, yeah,
In the
sure.
same time, we are not conscious to
Like, like,
stop, to
yeah.
violate the environments.
So most recently, most recently, I watched a video on TikTok that is someone taking a video, short video clips, and a person was saying that here, I mean, he was taking the video in the United States, and he was saying that, hey man, hey, hello, we are seeing the clouds coming from the uh, I mean, clouds and the gases coming from the Canada. I mean, it was just a message that clouds, the climate changes. I mean, the carbon dioxide, nitrogen oxide, these are not just created in that same area and devastated in the same area. It is not the same. It is if you create, it affects every other areas. So that is the very simple explanation. I have repeated twice with two different examples. So,
Yeah,
so for the solution, definitely reforestation. We have to practice to stop
yeah,
deforestation, and definitely, uh, the renewable energy. We know that this is the big and the the other side of the solution that we can implement in our, and we have to implement broadly to uh, every other countries. I mean, to the earth, not Bangladesh. And
Yeah,
there's energy sources only will be able to, you know, reason. I mean, listen by common to listen that climate challenges. So, and there are other solutions as well, like implementing waste management. About, I mean, the waste we're creating, we are not care about this. Like, I'm drinking. Uh, I'm drinking, eating, and we are creating a lot of waste. And when we throw this, we are not just care about. So we have to be more, careful about, and we have to create more awareness among the people through
yeah,
education, through quality education. So it will definitely and significantly can have a effect or impact of climate change. So the second, I believe I will be able to complete the four of them, but I believe I have taken 7 minutes, right? Or yeah. So again,
yeah, more than almost 10 minutes. You have started from
another two
47, so
people,
it's
yeah, we are
57,
two.
so almost 10 minutes you have left.
We are two. Not to worrying about time. There, I will take everything. So you will take another second. So
Yeah,
get started. So two, that is I was about to tell, is limited access to quality education, quality education and healthcare, and that is the thing. Uh, now I wish I could hit it at a very fast pace to talk about, but you know the four of them are the prominent one, and I cannot give them the one or two a second. So it's definitely a big issue that is that our generation, our next generation, is going to be faced as a threat. It's because there's many stakeholders for this reason, like population growth, like and you know everything like uh, healthcare, oh my God. I mean, even the US doesn't have that much of healthcare facilities, even though they are saying they are the topmost country who is providing the best healthcare uh, on demand. But uh, but uh, in reality, they cannot, you know. So let alone for Bangladesh, right? So
yeah,
and if this continues, this definitely uh, will be a great threat for the well-being and potential of our next generation. And for the solution part, I will just simply say, and I also brought this ideology at our very, the last station. That is, investing in education is must, and in health infrastructure is also a must thing to do from the authority. I mean, authority means the government have to do real and the conjugal actions uh, to bring this at the very top, and by investing on education. It can be anything, investing in education. So it can be like
yeah,
in rural, particularly you can say rural areas, that can be the target areas where most ignorant, illiterate people lives, right? So and the third, third, I will definitely say that is overpopulation and family planning, and it's a great problem, and it's going to be a great threat again for our next generation. It's because we are growing old, and uh, we are growing old with being ignorant and being illiterate. So we definitely, our next generation will definitely, will be overpopulated without,
yeah.
because we don't have education, so we don't have family planning. So we have to,
Nowadays we are taking a lot educations, and nowadays people of Bangladesh, they're almost educated,
yeah,
but
almost
they are
education.
not literally, they cannot literally taken the actual knowledge who
Yeah,
that is
yeah.
initially
Uh,
important in the individual lives,
yeah. So
practical
I
education.
if I go beyond the book, most recently I went to the airport and I saw a woman who got five child. I mean, five daughter, and they are equal, like like this. And my mom
Yeah,
asked me,
it's because of the aspiration
yeah,
as
inspiration.
suppose like that's suppose some family they aspire they cherish they should
Yeah.
be a child, then that means son, and some families they think they should be girls baby. So that kind of aspirations make help to grow the population.
So again, our population, there are, we know for how our population, is happening, and it definitely a matter of concern, because it stops, uh, it also strain our resources. It also, block uh, opportunities for others, because because we have limited resources, but we are overpopulated. So how come everyone will get the best quality of any product, or you can say
Yeah,
education as a product? So how come they will get? So uh, even though we are getting education, we are not educated. We are getting education and we are not getting quality education, as because we are overpopulated. We are getting a very little of thing. Like we have 1 kg, 1 kilogram of bread, and we are 15 people to eat this. So if you take a bite, and how come you will give 20 push-ups? So because it's not enough, right? So for the solution part, I would definitely say mm, family planning have to be more, uh, top priority at least, and it has to be uh, uh, planning in our actual education, and there must have some, uh, pressure and pressure, uh, immensely. I mean, broadly. So again,
but
I couldn't finish the very last one. I believe you will include this unemployment and economic diversification in Bangladesh. And here you go.
yeah, I'll give you floor again. I'll give you floor
Yeah,
again
sure,
if
sure,
we have
sure.
time.
So,
No, no,
I'll
no, don't
summarize
worry, don't worry.
my speech with the main points that I have discussed. In conclusion, I will say that is the next generation of Bangladesh will face, and already we are facing, the several critical threats that I have mentioned, from climate change to, the access to education and to healthcare and our population unemployment. So from those, even though we are seeing threats, we have to be more emphasized about the importance of the solution or action that we will take and we have to take. So we definitely, we must have to have a sustainable, actions, because our next generation is going to be, get benefited from our sustainable actions. Because do you understand what I mean by sustainable actions? Like we are not,
Yeah,
we don't have
yeah,
to create more waste
durable,
without
durable,
thinking the
durable
reusement,
solution.
without thinking the recycling. So we have to create, but we have to think at the same time the recycling as well, and the management. So here you go. It's my part, and I have done. And or if you have questions uh, after discussion, you can ask, and we will just have. I will just reply.
Yeah,
Thank you for listening very patiently. Okay, it's going to be your part.
yeah, obviously. You have delivered very well, and you have raised very crucial and budding points that usually this if we don't care about this problem. Okay, I will ask you several questions, and that time you will answer. Okay. So, Bangladesh is a riverine country, you can say, because it is surrounded in three sides. It's surrounded by uh, river, Bay of Bengal, and so on. So it's totally based on agriculture, flood, disaster, climate. So based on these things. But nowadays, if we see the scenario of Bangladesh, every year it change the shape of Bangladesh and it's flooded. Lots of people become poor. Lots of people loses their property and their assets. Yeah, definitely, it is a hamper. It is a threat for a country because our government cannot do every year lots of investment on this particular field, because it's every year it's a gradually happen. So what is the reason behind it to for increasing this kind of flooded and climate changes? As you have discussed a lot about climate changes, so if I shortly say that it is a one kind of results of our works, because we are not conscious, we are day by day we are decreasing the forest, that mean deforestation. We are not aware about the uh, weather of our environment. We throw garbage here and there, so we just pollute our environment. That's why actually the climate change become badly and affects in for the Bangladesh badly. So it's gonna be great threat for the next generation if we are not concerned. In the second influential problem for the next generation is going to be unemployment. Though right now we are most of the, we can say 90% yacht they become education, they become educated. The problem is that the government cannot open. We know a government can't do 90% job for the this for their countrymen. In the we government can inspire the in this whenever they will complete for only 2,000 posts, the more than say 6 or 7 lakhs students actually defeat. It's a great competitive exam. Can you imagine for 2,000 seats against almost 7 lakh. So it's a how imagine it's gonna be great trade for the next generation. And because in the same time we can't get quality quality or skillful quality education that you have already mentioned. In our education system, we just know how to push our brain vocational knowledge, and we don't come out any single creative idea from our brain. It's gonna be great traits, because for next generation will be based on technology. And if we are not cope up with the situation, if we don't become modern, and if we don't learn technology based, yeah, let alone definitely it will be threat for the next generation. In the same time, if we see our government, our every job sectors and other fields is totally corrupted, is great tempers, because nowadays people and the scholar they don't they don't feel safe in this country, because of abuse of power, corruption. Whenever they go to get anything from any fields and any sectors, they are faced by corruptions and nepotism, abuse of power. So for this reason we see that there is a great number of person they leave this country. It's kind of brain drain. So when our government invests lots of money for the students of medical, engineering for the engineering students, ultimately they don't feel safe and they don't feel a secure job place in Bangladesh. For all this reason they leave this country. Ultimately we lost the great um, scholars and great trade for the country. Yeah, if you know about Canada, they appreciate those person who wanna get the PhD and scholar higher education. They warmly welcome them, and every year they earn lots of, and most of their earn comes from the immigrants. I mean the person who comes from any other country, but they grow and they they earn in by their own way in that country, and yeah, definitely it's grow increase their GDP. On the contrary, we lost this kind of talented person from our Bangladesh. Yeah, it's gonna be great choice for ourselves. In the same times, we see our big portion of youngsters, they badly addicted about games, and they don't know the actual productive things. Yeah, if I observe, yeah, obviously the person who comes from European country, they also play game, but it's not like us, because a person we see who already 16 years old, they make a apps, they do some glorious things for the world, but in our country we never have ever hear like
You
there's
can say it's
glorious
rare,
things,
right?
because we know, yeah, yeah, it's because we know how to play game and become addicted. In the same time, we don't know what is coding, what is how to make up productive things and scientific things, because in our education system, it is not inspire the students for research, for for for
Yeah.
creative things,
The
because
great thing
we are used to
great thing is if
in
you
a year we have to
differentiate
complete
if you
6 or 5
differentiate our countries full upon with Indians, you will find very,
yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah. For there is a huge difference between the students of India and Bangladesh. They always inspire and they focus on creative idea. But in we are in traditional education system, because every year we have to um, um, we have to complete or fulfill our syllabus by that is totally based on vocational. If you ask a teacher something out of this text, they will say it's not uh, include your text, and even without any class, without any more interact of the classroom or teachers, you can pass in the exam, because you have a traditional way and system. If you read several chapters, that is think is it is important, but yeah, you will be able to complete and you will be passing the exam. Yeah, if I say more thing about ourselves, that is most important thing is that the moral things, because if nowadays the youngsters, the people of Bangladesh, they know and they are faced badly the abuse of power. Yeah, abuse of power. So yeah, definitely, if I concise my whole speech shortly, climate change, unemployment problem, unskillful and pre-planned education, corruption, a brain drain, moral educations and moral manner. These kinds of are gonna be great traits for the young, for next generation. So we need to come out these things. Definitely, we need to so we need to come out these things. Yeah, definitely they will work for it. And if we are concerned as a students, if we work definitely from our core of heart, we believe in Bangladesh, we love in Bangladesh. Yeah, definitely we can overcome these traits. Unmute yourself, please. Unmute yourself.
It's going to be a single
I
sentence
cannot
from both
hear
of
you.
us, but no more today. It's going to be the end very soon. And uh, so, yeah, it was great.